Gospel of the Lord, August the 16th, 2013, Matthew 19, 3:12. Some Pharisees approached Jesus, and to put him to the test, they said, "Is it against the law for a man to divorce his wife on any pretext whatever?" He answered, "Have you not read that the Creator from the beginning made them male and female, and that he said, 'This is why a man leaves his father and mother and becomes attached to his wife, and that the two become one flesh?' There are no longer two, therefore, but one flesh. So then, what God has united, human beings must not divide." They said to him, "Then why did Moses command that a writ of dismissal should be given in cases of divorce?" He said to them, "It was because you were so hard-hearted that Moses allowed you to divorce your wives. But it was not like this from the beginning. Now I said this to you. Anyone who divorces his wife, I am not speaking of an illicit marriage, and marries another is guilty of adultery." The disciples said to him, "If that is how things are between husband and wife, it is advisable not to marry." But he replied, "It is not everyone who can accept what I have said, but only those to whom it is granted. There are eunuchs born so from their mother's womb. There are eunuchs made so by human agency, and there are eunuchs who have made themselves so for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. Let anyone accept this who can." Gospel of the Lord, praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. The Pharisees are trying to catch him denying the law so that they can accuse Jesus of breaking the law and try to stone him. And the question of the divorce is a hard one. But because back then, according to many of their own teachers, the Pharisees' teachers, you could divorce for whatever reason. And the Lord basically corrects what they have done with the law given by God to Moses. He corrects them. "Have you not read that the Creator from the beginning made them female and male? That he said that this is why a man will leave his father and mother and become attached to his wife, and the two become one flesh. So what God has united, human beings must not divide." God from the beginning has made us man and woman, male and female. That's what we also call as natural law, which basically is the law of God, because He wrote it. He made it so. It is not right to try to call marriage between a man and a man or a woman and a woman, whatever the constitution or the law of this world might say, because we were created from the Holy Trinity, which is love. And we are the incarnation of the love of our fathers and mother. Each one of us are the love incarnated of our father and our mother, even if it was for a moment. God calls us to be co-creators with Him in the intimacy of marriage between a man and a woman. Between two males, any intimacy can only produce pain and nothing more. Perhaps some feeling between them, but it will certainly not naturally produce a life. And it has to be, this marriage, a sacred thing, a sacred institution for the life of the spouses, so that they might guarantee the love of the children that they're going to have. Marriage is oriented towards the good of the spouses, but also towards the good of the children, of their children. And it is we were made so that our deepest desire is love. And those who teach us how to love by loving us in the first place are our mother and our father. And they are also an image of the love of God. They are trying to nail Jesus and say, why did Moses commanded a writ of dismissal? And he explains, because you were so hard-hearted. Moses allowed you to divorce your wives, but it was not like this from the beginning. And now he corrects them and us. Now I say this to you, anyone who divorces his wife and marries another is guilty of adultery. This is very harsh. Many times, many people get married, and after a while, they discover that they are not compatible. And that happened because in the first place, they did not know themselves. And in the second place, they did not know he or she who married. So we have to plan carefully for marriage, because the family is a great gift that we have received from God, one that has been attacked harshly in the last years, in the last several years. We have to know ourselves. We have to know whoever is the candidate to be a spouse. And we have to know each other when we are happy and also when we are angry, to understand how we can work, because marriage is a consortium, it's an association for life, and we have to learn how to resolve the problems, how to continually go back to the first love, because the person that you married, it's still there, and you can always go back to the first love, but deeper and deeper, so that it can become a bigger and bigger love, even though it's only a human love. The disciples did not like that, because back then it was very easy. The man just would write the act and he was divorced, that was it. They don't like it. But then God, the man God says, not everyone can understand this, because for marriage is also a vocation. It's also, not everyone is going to be able to get married and be happy. So if you are in the age of getting married, or if you know someone who is getting there or in the age, please advise them to be careful and plan for their lives in the long term, that they might be happy with a good marriage and be blessed by God. God bless you, brothers.